calling with KWWL-TV in Iowa City. It's about 10 after 6 on Thursday evening. I'm calling, I understand. This is Reverend Benjamin with
Nope.
Hi, Ed. It's Sarah from the Oprah Show. Thanks so much for calling me back. I would love to chat with you.
She never did call back.
It's 4:30.
Who?
The producer for Oprah?
Oh.
1205.
Nope.
Well, she's missing out. I had to get married after the Iowa decision came over my phone, because one of my colleagues at the ACLU was keeping me posted on the progress. And so when full marriage equality, the question was going to be whether or not it would be a positive decision, and if so, how positive. And the most positive would be is if it was full marriage equality.
Once we realized we had 6 couples, then it was like, oh, that's 12 people. So we might as well get something bigger. And then we said, well, why don't we just like look into renting a bus, like a chartered bus.
We wanted to get up to Iowa before the state legislature had a chance to limit,
right.
you know, like have a residential requirement. So therefore, Iowa only could get married. So that's our sense of urgency. I think we had 12 couples, and we were the only male couple.
That was more important though. We only had one. It was us.
Yeah,
we had someone else that backed out. They talked about it earlier, but the whole bus was filled with lesbians, which was fine.
Yeah,
nothing wrong with that.
No, we're fine with that. I've been to that party before.
For me, it's a continuation of a legacy to stand up and say I am fully human. I do deserve these rights. These are mine. And so I think to go in there and to be able to sign that paper is probably what I'm looking most forward to.
I don't feel like we're threatening anybody. You know, everybody says, "Oh, this is such a threat to heterosexual marriage." I don't know how I'm threatening anybody. You know, I'm with the person that I've been with for 23 years. Where's the threat?
Well, we are like everybody else. And if we are like everybody else, we should have the same rights as everybody else. The only thing that's different is what we do behind closed doors. That's the only thing that's different.
For 22 years we've chosen that we want to be together, so when this opportunity came up, it was, I don't know, for me it's kind of like we are taking steps now for future generations so that one day it's not going to be a big deal. It's just going to be.
Mayor Regina Bailey reached out and said, I want to be the first person that greets all of you off the bus. And so we all walk across the street in a little rain, and it was great because there she was. You know, we get upstairs and it's just beautiful pandemonium, people getting their license, their stuff back, the recorders all lined up. I was kind of led by the group that we don't want to get married in a lobby. Could we do it some other way? Could we make it somewhat more memorable? It was so great to go over there and see those congregants, people that belong to that church, welcoming us. Cake and homemade stuff. Like, I'm not trying to be cheesy, but not like church basement goodies, like stuff that you know someone baked in the morning. It was amazing. I'm telling you, one by one. We were the first couple that, you know, once they started, Susan called us up. I think for me at that moment, like just getting up there, all that leading up to it, and I've seen marriages before, but in that moment, it was like I had never been in a marriage before. I was so speechless. It was like I felt like I was like all time stopped. It's that really weird statement I think people say when they talk about their weddings.
I felt like we were surrounded by support, and then to have really all of us be just pretty emotional. And I think that's when, you know, the personal and the political kind of all came together for me, but then the political kind of went aside and it was totally personal, which was about us.
I definitely think that is the movement we're in right now. If you're in a couple, in a relationship, get married. Take a bus, take a plane, take a boat, walk, bike, get married.
We didn't set out to sort of plan this, you know, gigantic destination wedding. Instead, what we try to do is get ourselves up there sooner than later.
Correct.
And take others with us. You can't predict that moment that you're going to have, and so to actually have it and have our connection to actually touch each other's hands and share rings, and say words to each other that, you know, were the, you know, traditional Hebrew vows. It was really, really nice. It was really, that was worth it right there. And then I had hoped in that moment when I was having that and mine was done and the next couple were to go up, I wished that every single couple had an ounce of what we had up there, because it was completely moving. It was, you know what, and I'm not gonna, the other part too, just sitting there and then watching, you know, like the next couple go up and then the next, it just made it so real. It just made it so normal. And then to see people in the back pews, probably the last 3 pews, not the press, not the media, just supporters who took a lunch and walked in. And I was just overwhelmed by that. I don't know how anyone could look at that and go, you know, and say anything remotely horrific. Is this the honeymoon stage? Is this the part where, like, you know, what we're feeling this week? I mean, can we maintain that? I hope so. I mean, I hope in that energy around positivity.